I'd like to introduce Janet, who's going to be today's presenter.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good morning, and I want to thank you for being part of our show. That's going to be, excuse me, I didn't mean to say that, but as part of our Feng Shui, it's a really kind of fun class, and it gets us thinking about our environment and our surroundings, and it really helps us to have a more positive and energetic energy. So I want to welcome you. Again, my name is Janet Vigil Sanchez, and I'm a professionally certified life and work applications coach and trainer, and I'm very glad to be with you today. So let's get started on our presentation. Again, as Ellen said, please feel free to ask questions or add any input that you may have in your experience in working with Feng Shui. There we go. Okay, our objectives today. Let's get back here. Our objectives today, we're going to talk about what is Feng Shui, the tools that are involved in using it, what it does for our minds and our bodies, for our environment. One of the tools in Feng Shui is called the Bagua. We're going to learn a little bit about that and the different styles that are available to us. One of the most important elements of beginning the practice of Feng Shui is clearing clutter. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well, and strengthening our health, our environment. We're going to find out that as we clear our environment, we also clear our health and raise our energy levels. The use of color is very important in Feng Shui, and we're going to kind of look at the different properties that color has, and we're going to talk about the 5 elements involved in Feng Shui. So what is Feng Shui? Feng Shui it's an ancient art from China, and it's been around for over 5,000 years. It was designed to balance energy, to promote health, happiness, and prosperity. And everything in life has balance. So, we want to have the high energy and the low energy balancing, the yin and the yang. And that's where that, originates from. Feng Shui is meaning wind and water. And that's how energy or qi moves in the world, and it moves within our bodies in the same way. So it's connected to every part of the universe, every part of the world, and that's the concept, is we're learning how to allow the energy and balance it and allow it to move in our space. So in China, wind and water together signify good health, and we're creating good health in our surrounding environment, which in turn creates good health within us internally. So wind represents our breath, how we breathe, how we get the energy flowing through our body. And the water, in a sense, represents our blood. All the way our nutrition, everything runs through our body. We want to make it work as efficiently as possible. So that's really what this concept is about. It's about moving energy efficiently, effectively, to promote lots of happiness, health, prosperity in our lives. Okay, so there's 2 tools that we use in Feng Shui. One of them is a compass. And the reason for the compass is it tells us the direction of north, south, east, and west, obviously. But what it does is it locates the different areas in our home or in our environment where certain energies are active and happening. And the Bagua is an energy map. It's a grid, and it really means, Bagua means literally 8 areas. And the 8 areas on the map represent the different things in our lives. For example, our career, our family, love, wealth, those type of things. And anybody can get online and you can type in on a search engine Bagua template, and there's 2 different types. There's a Bagua template that is traditional, that works in conjunction with the compass, and it's based upon the north, south, east, west, and they use the quadrants as well, the southeast, northeast, and it breaks down the areas and what you do in each area. So it uses a compass. That's traditional Bagua. There's a new, more modern type of Bagua that's called Western, and it's called the Black Hat Feng Shui that's kind of moving into the United States. and it's based upon the Bagua map being presented from the front door from your front entrance. So take a little bit of time if you can and, get onto your search engine and type in Bagua template, and you can get information on how to apply that. And it's basically a guide that lets you know which area of your house represents which energy. And it could be, like I said before, your career, your finances, that type of thing. So
hey, Janet, I just wanted to jump in a second, just remind people, if you could please mute your phones if you think you're going to have any background noise. We can hear typing and a few other things. So *6 to just mute your phone, and you'll still be able to hear Janet. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Ellen. So these are tools that are used, again, in the traditional method, we use the compass. And in the new Black Hat Western method, they're just using a Bagua template to make it a little bit simpler. But you still get the same effects because the main idea is creating balance and tranquility in your space. Any comments or questions, or anyone need more clarification on the tools? Because sometimes that can get a little confusing, but it's really pretty basic when we take a little time to research it a little more. So the Bagua, which is really one of the main tools in Feng Shui, it helps to analyze the energy in a certain room or space. It's known as an energy map, and then it brings color in to relate to the specific areas of one's life. Again, a reminder, career, finances, relationships, things that, elements of our lives, such as our children, our health, recognition, just lots of really fun stuff that sometimes I think we tend to ignore, put aside, or not make a priority. So it really helps us to get an in-depth look at all the areas of our life. Kind of like, have any of you ever done a life map where you kind of chart the different things in your life and you want to create balance in all those areas? That's really what Feng Shui is trying to help you create. Okay, so these are some things you want to know. It's more than 6,000 years old. It's discovered by Taoist masters. It's the study of the immediate surroundings, area we live in and work in. And what's nice about Feng Shui is that you can incorporate it as the whole home, or you can, in the macrocosm of everything, or you can do it micro. So you can take that same concept from your entire home and apply it to a room. And then you can also apply it maybe to your workstation or to your desk. So it's really a nice thing when it kind of starts as a big project, or you can create it into a small project. So it's not so overwhelming. But it works in your yard. It works if you have just a little area where you want to spend time reading a book. You can create a Feng Shui space. You can do your whole home. So it's really a nice tool to utilize in many aspects of your life. The one thing that we're finding is, and the study here shows that in 80% of chronic, terminal, and degenerative diseases, their origins in the bedroom of bad Feng Shui houses. So what they're saying to us is we're finding out that when homes have clutter, when there's not enough air going through a home, when there's not enough light, or the arrangement of color, it really affects our health. It affects our health on a physical level and a mental level as well. So what we're really trying to create is a healthy environment for us to live the lives that we're meant to live at our full potential. Okay, what does it do for our space? One of the first things when you start using Feng Shui is the clearing out of clutter. You want to make sure that we're getting rid of things that we don't use, that we don't want to hold on to, that are maybe keeping us locked in the past versus living in the present, or possibly moving into the future. So it really keeps our mind clear, keeps our environment clear, and allows for the good energy to flow. When you walk into a room and there's lots of clutter, where do we sometimes see a lot of dust? It blocks our path. It takes time because we can't find anything. So those take away our energy. And what we want to do is we want to keep our energy free and moving. So when we think of clutter, we want to think of it as it's something that blocks us, that stops us from, moving and keeps us from being productive. It brings in good health. When there's flow going on, the energy feels good, the room feels good. How many of you know it feels great to be in an organized, clean home? You feel relaxed, everything's in its place. So it brings that feeling of health. It keeps everything in perspective. It provides the harmony and balance that we need. Sometimes we have homes that we have way too much stuff or not enough stuff. So we need that balance. We need it to be, have beautiful things, but not too much to where it's dominating our lives. And we want more color and light in our area. And sometimes when we're looking at Feng Shui, there's even times where we need to limit the light. We may have this huge window and the sun's just pouring in and you can't enjoy the space because there's too much light, there's too much heat going on. So it's all about balance. So it brings balance, it brings harmony, it brings health, the flow of energy, and the removal of clutter into our lives. Any comments, any questions? Okay. Clearing clutter. Okay. This is a quote. Once you clear most of your clutter with Feng Shui and have clear system to avoid its accumulation in the future, you will start experiencing high energy levels, more clarity, and a heightened sense of well-being. And this is very true. The thing is we need to remember is we want to start off small when it comes to clearing clutter, because it can be overwhelming. If we deal with a lot of clutter or we have clutter in a lot of areas, make it simple. Start off small. Look at the place that you need to deal with that's the most important, that is the largest priority in your life. And one of the nice tests to use when you're talking about clutter is ask yourself questions. Does this clutter lift my energy? A lot of times we're going to say, no, it doesn't. Do we use it? Do we love it? Is it bringing value to my life? So when you're looking at piles of clutter, talk to it. See how it affects you. What's your reaction to it? If the feelings aren't good, it's something we need to work on. And again, attack it small things at a time. Don't say, I'm going to do the whole house in one day. Set a clock, a timer, and do 30 minutes and work on that, and then do that on a daily basis. Another thing that helps with clutter is putting things away. When you take it out, put it away right away to avoid creating clutter. I think that's one of the greatest tools that we can discover is a place for everything and everything in its place. That really helps us to eliminate clutter. Throw things away as often as you can. 80% of the things that we store or save never get used again. And that's pretty amazing. So once you read a magazine, find a box, create a box to give away to a needy organization. So create things that make your life easier and run smoother and make it possible for you to avoid clutter. So you want to create systems in place that will, get clutter out of your life and create ways to get it moving and maybe benefit other people. Go through your closet. If you're not using clothes, the rule of thumb, I guess, nowadays, if you haven't used it, and this is not regarding seasonal, but if you haven't worn something in 6 months, you're probably not likely going to use it again, unless it's a seasonal item. But go through your closet regularly. And one of the things in Feng Shui is when you go through your closet regularly, by getting rid of clothes that you're holding on to, you actually open up energy to invite new items in. So a lot of us hold on to things or we think we'll fit into it one day or the style's going to come back. We have 1,000 reasons to hold on to items in our closet. But when we remove clutter and we get rid of things we're not using, we open up the door for new things to come to us. And that's how energy works. We give and we receive, and it's all about balance. And, keep your cupboards clean, your refrigerator, on a weekly basis. Every week, go through your refrigerator, get rid of old food, clean out your fridge, clean out your cupboards, clean the refrigerator, keep everything organized so that your life goes smoothly, and donate items that you are not using, because someone else can always benefit from it. Again, there's that, the wind and the water. Whatever you give out comes back to you. So it's really about energy, getting it to flow, giving and receiving. And also get online. HGTV is a really great resource if you're looking for techniques and methods to declutter or create concepts or ideas. Go on to HGTV and look for those things, because it has a lot of great resources that are available to you. It also has information on Feng Shui, colors, that type of thing. Okay, so we want to talk about how Feng Shui enhances our health. Again, as I mentioned earlier, the wind and water represents the breath and the blood that flow through our bodies. And we want it to work and flow as easily and just give us that natural feeling of being present and healthy and anxious for change or anything that's coming into our lives. So it makes for a healthier attitude. It keeps us balanced. When things happen that can be difficult, when we're balanced, we handle them more on the process of responding versus reacting. So when our environment is comfortable, I think we tend to definitely be more comfortable. It helps us with comfortable sleep environment, which helps us get better rest. We're more productive. We have energy for the day. A lot of things that we're finding out, one of the things when they talk about Feng Shui in the bedroom is we want to get rid of the electronic devices, which is hard for some of us because we like our televisions and things like that. But we want to create an element of rest. We want to bring light. It brings light and fresh air into a room, which allows us to receive the best oxygen possible. When we're receiving the best oxygen possible, it's flowing through our bloodstream, efficiently. It's making us healthy, stronger. It keeps us alert. Our brain actually functions at a higher level. So these things are really, when we look into Feng Shui and how it really works, the effects on our health are quite significant. It's calming and relaxing on the mind and body, and it helps us, again, to balance our emotions and stress. When something stressful comes up, because we're relaxed, we're balanced, we're in a place that we love and we enjoy, we're able to respond versus react. So our environment has a huge impact on us. Sometimes we don't think that, but when we create the space that suits us, that fits our lifestyle, that is decluttered, clean, organized, it makes life flow for us. And that's what Feng Shui is. It's about flow, about good energy coming to us, and being able to handle any negative or bad energies in the most effective way possible. So the use of color. That's a lot of fun with Feng Shui because a lot of times for some of us, I think it's a little bit difficult to use color. We're not sure how we should mix it or how it works. So Feng Shui kind of gives us a template to use. And the guide is to create a harmonious feeling in the room, in the office, and the color is to shift the energy. And how they do this is they use the 5 elements, which are fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. And they attach the colors to each of these elements. And what it does is it just helps us to, if we're looking for a certain area to grow in, we adapt these elements and these colors into the Feng Shui. And so if we have a corner in our house, let's say our financial area, we want to add in color into that area and maybe light and wood, that type of thing, to create that feeling of prosperity. And a lot of times people will be feeling stifled in an area of their life. Well, when you get your Bagua and you place it, upon your home, and you look at that area, and you can, maybe there's a lot of clutter there, and you'll see why something is stagnant in your life. Because when we have clutter, when we haven't created the space that suits that element of our life, we actually can cause stagnation there. So that's where Feng Shui really works, to just open up the space and create the flow of energy. Again, if you get your Bagua template, that will really help you to determine which area in your home, and if you're having a problem, let's say, when it comes to helpful people in travel, maybe that area of your life is cluttered, or you need to do some changing with the colors in that area, or apply one of the 5 elements as well. Any comments or questions? Okay, the 5 elements and the feelings they give us space. Okay, fire. That always works with the color red, and it's about passion and energy. And this passion and energy can be in any area of your life. So, if you need a little more energy and passion in your work area, you apply the color red and the element fire in that area. Again, with earth, the nourishment and stability. Earth for us is grounding, and it's an element that we attach ourselves to feel that stability and that grounding, and then we allow everything in around it. A lot of people, when they use Feng Shui, they use neutral colors, and then they add the deeper colors as accessories, because it kind of, you're grounded with the neutral colors, and the additional colors are brought in to add the fire, the red for the passion, or you can add in the blue or blue and black for education. Green is added in for growth. So there's different things that are brought in. And as you can see, like if you look at earth and metal, water, and wood, when you think of the color, it actually attaches to the element. And we'll see that on the next slide. But for earth, there's nourishment and stability. Metal brings us balance and clarity. Water is calmness, ease, and abundance. And we know that in abundance, it's something that flows to us, and it's something that we flow and give to other people. So we always want to keep that balance. Whenever we feel a little too energetic, we want to always, if our room's like really highly decorated, we want to tone it down, because we want to have that balance. The wood, the growth, the vibrant health, and the vitality. Wood, one of the colors that works with the element of wood is green, because green represents growth. It represents, health in our life, growth, the vitality, the energy that we need. So it all works together, and it's really nice because you can create, again, the whole space or small areas like on your desk. You can create this whole template of items that just give you that balance and that energy, that remind you of the different aspects in your life that we need to focus on. Because as we all know, when we have too much energy dispensed in our career, other areas of our life suffer. So what happens is when we create our space to remind us of balance, it kind of brings us back into perspective in our lives. So the concept is here as not only to make us healthier, but to remind us of those things. So colors and the Bagua area. This is going to give you more of a definition of the template. So Earth is in the northeast and southwest areas, and this is based upon the compass, the old traditional Bagua type. The colors in this are light yellow, beige, light brown, and earth tone colors. And again, this is your grounding, your kind of like your root structure that keeps you in, balanced and connected to earth, and just keeps that really relaxed, calm feeling. Fire is the south area. It brings in the reds, the orange, the purples, the pinks, the passionate colors, the colors that, get us charged up and are connected to love, to spirituality, to kindness, those type of things. metal is our west and northwest. And I wish it would be nice if maybe we can send you an attachment later on of the Bagua template when we send you this presentation, because it'll really help make it a little bit clearer. But metal west and north is the white and the gray. Water, north area, blues and blacks. And the wood, east and south, is the browns and the greens, east and southeast. So when you put your template down, what we see what we see in the Feng Shui is the earth is the base color, and and then what they do is they add these elements in these sections of the home with these colors. So in the south area of your home, let's say you have a beige couch, you would add red pillows, some orange, maybe some artwork with purple, flowers with pink in them, that type of thing. Again, the north area, you would add the blues and the blacks. So that's based upon the traditional Bagua template. And you can do even combinations of these things as well. Any comments or questions? Okay. Now, the resources I have to tell you on here, the HGTV is the one that's working correctly now, but I went and looked on these other links, and for some reason the links aren't working right now, but I strongly recommend that you go to HGTV if it's something that you would really like to look into and research a little more. There are some places when you do your search engine that will give you definitions of Feng Shui. Again, I think there's 4 different styles now that are being used. And in the traditional sense, they're using 3 different styles. And the Western, which is the black hat style, they're using a Bagua template that, again, you apply it toward your front door. And that makes it a little simpler because you're able to put the template down and look at your home from your front door, and not get too overwhelmed by the use of the compass and that type of thing. And what they do is they determine the flow of your home from the front door, and then you do the main floor, and then you do each room, and then you go to the second floor. And just so everyone knows, the last part of the home to use Feng Shui upon is your outside location, which you can do, but they recommend you start with your main floor, go to each room then within your main floor, and then go to the different floors on the home, and then lastly apply the Feng Shui to the exterior part of your home. Is there anything on the class itself that anyone would like me to review specifically?
Janet, this is Mary Van Nortwick.
Yeah.
Have you come to the near end of your presentation?
Yeah, it's a little bit shorter than I thought, but I can go back and review it. Would it be helpful for you guys?
Well, I think it would be interesting to get a little bit of feedback from our guests today as far as why they joined, what they were trying to accomplish, and you may be able to give some specific insight. While this presentation was going on, I was able to do Google Images, and I was able to go to HGTV and kind of cut and paste for myself some of the better looking templates for myself into a Word doc so I can kind of print that to go along, and found some pretty cool stuff in there. And just reflecting on my rooms and how I did try to use some of this, it came out of an article from Real Simple magazine some time back. I really took it seriously, and it really made a radical difference in my space, from the declutter to the use of color. So I would like to hear from some of the others that joined us that are comfortable in sharing maybe some of their interest in doing this, or if they've already done it and how it worked out for them. Just kind of open the floor for the folks who took the time to come today.
Okay, great. Well, let's do that. Would anybody like to share with us why they took the class today?
Might take him a minute to get off of mute.
Okay.
Hi, this is George Guba. The main reason I took it is just, curiosity.
Good.
Great. And do you have any questions that maybe we didn't address today, George?
Well, I was looking at, just I Googled the chart, and one chart had red, like in the north, and then, it's having different colors that you were relating in the presentation for the directions.
Yeah, and I find that as well. I think some of the changes that I notice on there is the traditional Feng Shui versus the modern, the Western style that they're using. And there's a difference between using the compass with the Bagua template versus the black hat Western style. So when you're looking at the template, you may want to type in traditional Bagua template, which is in conjunction with the compass, and then there is the black hat Western Bagua template, which is what they're using now, starting from your front entry. So it's not based upon direction. Because Feng Shui can get pretty technical, everybody. You can use compass readings, and they get exact. They can use astronomy and attach, they can get really detailed on how this is used. But when you're looking at your Bagua template, we definitely want to make sure that to see if it's traditional with a compass or if it is the black hat Western style, which is based upon entry to the front door. And you may want to specify that on your template search.
Okay, that's helpful.
Okay. And has anyone tried Feng Shui in their home besides Mary? And that magazine, by the way, is just one of the best magazines out there as far as implementing things.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone else tried the Feng Shui? Or looking at possibly doing so? And we can do a little bit more, too. When it comes to colors on Feng Shui, one of the nice things is how they associate the colors. Like blue and black are associated with water energy, supporting inner work, helping to concentrate. Again, green is associated with wood energy, the energy of growth, decisiveness in action. Red is associated with fire. It supports life energy, the increase of heart rate, helps to promote activity and alleviate depression. So a lot of times when we're maybe struggling with something, we can pull one of these colors into our area to help increase that item. So yellow is associated with earth energy, representing Mother Earth. It can cheer you up, infuse hope, clarity, those type of things.
There's a couple of comments in case you aren't on the comment screen so that people can see.
Quick. Okay, great.
Which is nice. People are talking about the decluttering and.
Okay, good.
Some people are.
I'm going to go ahead and read it if it's okay.
Sure.
Right now, my house is somewhat of a clutter zone as my husband does not pick up after himself. My goal during the winter is to edit my house and clean out a lot of things that we do not need anymore. Again, Leslie, one of my strongest recommendations is take it small. Look in your home and which area is most important that needs to be done, and try to encourage everyone to create new habits. The rule of thumb is to put something away within 30 seconds of using it. A lot of times I find that people, I'm going to use it later. Well, even if you use it later, put it away, because what happens is we create this mindset is I'm going to get to it later, and we really want to create the mindset of we take care of it right now. If we need it, we can go get it later. Because a lot of times, 9 out of 10, we get caught up with something else in our life. But start off simple and start off small. And start off with the main place that you really need to work on. And when you're done, sit there by the place that has the clutter, because it's about energy. So sit by the place and ask yourself, how does this make me feel? What is it bringing into my life? And you're going to see it's making me feel frustrated. It's bringing me, I feel stuck, whatever the case may be. And then after you clear that space, and this is before we even apply the principles of Feng Shui, we want to clear it. And once that place is cleared, how does that make you feel? It makes you feel light. It makes you feel airy. It makes you feel accomplished. So that's how Feng Shui starts. That's the process. So it really opens up our whole mindset to what we can begin to create. So kind of look at it that way so that you can really feel that attachment, that energy of clutter versus non-clutter. Because what's going to happen is you're going to really like that feeling of non-clutter, so that's what's going to get you motivated. So you really want to attach emotion to this element of Feng Shui. Okay, Morgan, my goal is similar. We just need to declutter our house. Convincing kids to give up toys is our challenge. As my husband and I work to go through our own things. One of the things about Feng Shui is looking at things, do we really need them? Okay? Again, life is about balance. The more we have, the more we have to pick up. The more we have, the more we have to care for. The more we have, the more we have to be responsible for. When we look at the big picture of everything, do we really want all that additional work? And when you're going to buy something, ask yourself, do I really need this? Is this really going to bring value into my life? Is this going to bring good energy into my life? Or is it something I'm going to have to care for, take care of? A lot of times we see people that have bought these huge homes and they're downsizing because it just wasn't worth their time and energy. And maybe talk to your kids about that. Is this toy really worth me having to get after you and pick up? Is this toy something you play with all the time? And maybe use that same process with your children. But is this really bringing value to my life? Is it something I really want to care for and take the time to give my energy for? And I hope that helped you, Leslie. I see Morgan too. Okay? Before we... Well, Leslie, on the tones in the house, what I would do maybe possibly is go ahead and print the Bagua template. And I always recommend to people, especially when you're looking at it as a coloring and a decorating tool, use the black hat Western method because it's so much simpler. The same thing is achieved, and go get that template or go on to HGTV and lay it out and make a little grid and draw everything out and kind of so that he can visually see what's going to be happening. And talk to him about the concepts of the energy that changes around the home. My husband was funny. He drives a Harley Davidson motorcycle, and he likes to always park it toward the front of the house. Well, we were talking one day about Feng Shui, and I told him how it blocks the energy. He kind of looked at me funny and, was like, yeah, sure, well, believe it or not, he started parking the bike where it was supposed to be because it bothered him that it was blocking good energy. So when you share this information and you share the concepts of Feng Shui, it starts connecting to people and they start to understand that, yes, I do want a more balanced life. I want to be more comfortable. I want the colors to represent the goodness flowing in and out of my life. So one thing I always recommend is when you're encouraging change with a partner, get the template, put it out there, show what it means, and work on it together. So make it something you can share with each other and, even with the decluttering, how is this making you feel? Because when we attach emotion to anything, that's what gets us going toward change. Okay. Say, George, what to do about color when you're renting? My suggestion on that, George, would be to get the Bagua template again, and I would again suggest using the black hat and using colors as accents on your art, on your pillows, candles, flower arrangements. There's simple things such as table runners. If you have a dining room area, one of the nice things to add is a color of red to increase passionate communication sometimes where your family gathers. So think about the colors, what they mean, and apply them into the different areas of your home as accent pieces.
You can have a lot of
Okay, and then Morgan, George, I suggest colors elsewhere. Art. Okay, that's good. So these are good questions, everyone. Thank you. This is really good stuff. Yeah, and that's right, Tina. When we declutter and we're helping and giving things, it makes such a difference. I used to just hate getting rid of magazines because I hated throwing things away, and I hated, even putting them in recycle. But what I discovered is I've learned to send them to different areas. We give all of our magazines to a women's shelter, and they in turn recycle them to a doctor's office. So we're creating benefits and good things for other people when we declutter, when we give things away. Another thing is when things aren't fixed or working in your home, make a list of everything that you need to repair and slowly do it one thing at a time. Sometimes we have little things that just need a dab of super glue and we put them off. Well, clutter overwhelms us and it keeps us from moving forward. So slowly but surely start taking care of things that make a difference to clear up our environment. Let's see, Karen, I have a small house, so that helps me keep clutter to a minimum. On the bedroom, when it comes to Feng Shui, the yellow element, what I'm seeing a lot of is, I think instead of the yellow, we're seeing a lot of the neutral, more earth tones, and they want one of the best colors for a bedroom we're looking at are reds, oranges, golds are really nice. So instead of the yellow, maybe go toward more of a gold color or a gold, beige color, or maybe use gold accents such as on your window coverings or something like that. But yeah, if you really look at the chart, Karen, you can start to pull in the yellow in a different sense, and I would think more gold or beigey. Any other comments or questions? Yeah, I think a biscuit type color is good, Karen. And the thing is, when you have a small home, it's really always nice, even in a big home, when we start with the neutral colors and we bring in the deeper colors and we look at our Bagua template and we start adding these colors, it really brings your home to life and creates this really natural, earthy sense about the home that just gives us this peace and tranquility. So you're going to really like when you use that template. And again, I encourage you guys, unless you really want to get into the science of Feng Shui, I encourage you to use the Black Hat Western method because it really makes it a lot more simple and it's a lot easier to follow. Blues and greens are good accent colors. When you look at the bedroom, you have to also think about what you're wanting to create, Karen. So blue is about inner work, concentration. So yeah, you're looking at developing yourself, and the green is a little more energy, growth. So maybe limit the greens a little bit. And I would still try to pull in some reds and oranges into that frame somehow. And you can do that with pillows. Pillows are great. Window coverings are great. Flowers, you can implement all of those things. So definitely you want to try that. And also, there is if you guys would like to, I've taken several classes on Feng Shui. If you go online, and there is a website. Let me see if I can find it for you really quick here. It is called Daily OM Courses. So it's dailyom.com. And there's actually a mini course you can take, and they send you a class weekly on Feng Shui and creating that kind of lifestyle. And I think you can take it for as little as $10 as an online class if it's something you really want to incorporate in your life. One of the benefits of Feng Shui is that it does bring peace and tranquility into your life. The simple process of decluttering changes things around for you significantly. So definitely, before you even try to start the process, if you have any clutter in your home, that's the first application that you want to use. You definitely want to start the decluttering process. And you want to always attach yourself emotionally to that process, seeing where you're being blocked versus where you're allowing energy in. Because, again, it's about the flow of energy. Any more comments or questions?
This is Mary. I just want to thank you for today. I think it was excellent. You gave us a lot of great starting points if that's where people are in the starting place. And for other people, just now it's time to maybe accent or choose colors or just think new thoughts about their space and about the energy it creates. So I just thank you for today. I think it was outstanding.
Well, thank you, Mary. I really appreciate it. It was wonderful having a class with you all. But I would like to just really quick, before we end the session, if it's okay with you, just do a recap on your employee assistance program. I encourage everyone to get onto the website. It's at anthemeap.com, and your login is Mary Baldwin College. And get on there and look at what's available to you. There's face-to-face counseling sessions, legal, financial, great help with children and elder care. There's webinars. There are, self-assessments, just all kinds of really great resources available. And the wonderful thing about the Employment Assistance Program is it's proactive. When you start feeling something or you're struggling, before it gets, where it's really difficult for you, go in there and do the research. Take advantage of the counseling sessions. There's never a wrong question. There's never an inappropriate time to go and get the information or the help that you need. So I strongly suggest that you go to that website, get familiar with it, take advantage of the resources, and utilize this great asset that is provided to you by Mary Baldwin College. And if you have any questions, you can also contact them at the 800 number, and you'll get a person that will give you the information that you need. So before we sign off, if anyone else has any other questions or would like me to maybe provide additional information, I'd be glad to do so. But I would like to say thank you so much for the presentation today, and again, I'll wait around for a few minutes here, and if there's anything that you guys would like to know or would like further information, just let me know. And thank you for being with me today.